Okay.
What's that movie? Is it a hit? Don't ask her like she'll say, I haven't seen it.
Welcome to the Haven't Seen It podcast.
My name is like a Zach.
Like Zach.
The podcast where get the people where I guess get really drunk.
They get really drunk and they talk about movies.
A movie that I've never seen
before.
I'm like a Zach.
And I'm Will.
Why do
You're
you
right.
guys
That was better.
make me sound like a fucking 60-year-old barfly that's like recalling tales of his old childhood? Why? Is that the impression I give off?
We just started with the
You're just an
and
old
everything
soul.
fell into place from there.
Yeah.
You're right.
I could not tell a difference, to be honest. I really couldn't.
Oh, well, I'm going to reevaluate all my life choices. And yeah, thank you, guys. Speaking of, who the fuck are you?
Well, Alenka, we have a bit of a reunion happening tonight.
Oh, I know.
Didn't you know?
I had heard
We
it was going to
have-
happen.
Ryan Masimic and Zach Parsons. Oh,
Hello.
Big Cake, our sketch comedy group.
Big cake, baby.
This is Ryan's voice. I was on episode 1. Ryan.
And I'm Zach.
Yeah.
And welcome back. It's very exciting.
Thank you for having us.
Yeah.
Zach's
Yep,
choking on
that was
his
Zach
martini.
choking on his beverage, which obviously, as usual, is related to the movie. Which the movie, you guys, is
Oh, come on.
What is the movie, guys?
I know it.
3.
Oh, you do know it. Okay.
Casino
Royale.
Casino Royale.
Wow, you guys are so in sync. It's just insane. It's
Exactly.
disgusting. I hate it.
But as we said before, the new one.
The new one, the
not,
2006 version.
not the old.
The
Out
2006
with the
version,
old.
which is great. I didn't realize
Oh, yeah.
that there was. So I guess I knew that there was multiple Bond movies of old and of new, but I didn't know that this one was another new one.
Yeah.
Yes.
I was just curious.
Zach?
Have you seen any Bond movies?
No, I've seen
None
Austin
at all.
Powers.
Oh,
Well, I've seen
okay.
Austin Powers.
All right.
Okay.
Okay.
So pretty much yes.
Yeah.
So yeah,
Yeah.
I know the
Adjacent.
fucking
Right. So you've seen the parody
tropes.
of the Bond movie. Yeah.
yeah.
Okay.
Shagadelic, you know, Do I Make You
Yeah.
Randy?
Yeah.
Horny.
Horny
No.
Randy.
Well, yeah, he likes to say that.
Shagadelic. Shall we shag now, shag later?
Yeah.
Mhm. Bad teeth. All
Yeah.
that jazz.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Peace for a long
Richie.
time.
Peace
Yeah.
for such a long time, and then it like visually looks as if he's peeing into the guard's mouth, whom he knocked out. Exquisite cinematography.
Mhm.
Yeah,
Yeah.
if you want,
That's
I
actually
can.
ripped right from Bond
Cleopatra,
films.
and I'm a
Yes,
whole lot of
Plenty
woman.
of piss scenes.
Yeah. And I'm a whole lot of woman with what's his name?
That-
What's the guy that does
Mike Myers.
No. Who's the guy that
Mike Myers.
Cleopatra? No.
Mike Myers.
Okay.
Jay-Z?
Okay. Well, you guys,
Jay-Z.
great. I'm so glad that I'm on the same page as everybody here today. And we're talking about Casino Royale. So great.
So there was a 1967 version of the film. We were discussing it pre-record, and interesting that the likes of Woody Allen and Peter Sellers, comedians of the time, were in this film. It was more of a comedy than a spy thriller, spy parody film. Very interesting. But we're doing
Have you
the
seen it? I haven't
2006
seen that one.
version.
Which is confusing
I've
to
only
me
read
because
about it, yeah.
I thought, because this is with Daniel Craig, right?
His first
Okay.
one.
So
Yes.
oh, it is. So I thought all the Daniel Craig movies were already remakes, but if Casino Royale, this is the first one, and if the original one in the 60s, did we say?
I mean, it wasn't really considered a Bond movie. Yeah,
this one?
like it.
What isn't?
The 1961. It wasn't really considered, but like it wasn't made by the same people who've made every Bond. I think the producer of this one is Barbara Broccoli.
Broccoli? Broccoli.
Her name is Barbara Broccoli. Sorry, Barbara Broccoli. Oh boy, this Martini.
It's Hanna-Barbera. They produce these films.
Christine Cauliflower.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Well, no, but all the James Bond films from the beginning are actually based on novels from Ian Fleming.
True.
So it's a story first.
I didn't know that.
However, I actually just read about this recently, but Casino Royale was the first one that actually somewhat followed the plot of the book. All the other Bond movies, Ian Fleming only sold the rights to the name and the character. And not the stories within them. I don't know how true that is because I don't think I've seen every Bond movie, but
Zach, I'm pulling up the Wikipedia page for the Casino Royale novel.
Good.
And at first scan, it looks like this film is staying true to the plot of the original.
Well, I've read the original. Right? I've read the original.
Wow.
I know where it ends, which we'll get to later, and I think I know where it starts. But they've added a little bit to the beginning, and obviously they've modernized it and that sort of thing. But it's the same basic plot of the original book. So cool.
Then, why did you pick this movie and not the other guy?
Who
the
picked
other
this?
Bond? What?
Who picked this movie? I was told to watch this movie.
That's our new thing on Haven't Seen a Podcast. That's like, it sounds almost like what Reed said. Is like, you gave me two options. We pick the movies now, bitch.
I mean, this is my favorite Bond movie and one of my faves action movies in general. It's a really good movie.
It's fine.
We're going to talk about it a lot, I guess.
Yeah,
but
I guess what I'm wondering is did you guys have a separate group chat with just Zach where this was selected by Zach and then I was separately told to watch it?
No. I was told Casino Royale, but I was like, oh yes, I can make a Vesper martini.
Okay. But you know what? You guys have committed now, so that's fantastic. Yeah. Thanks.
Well, I was at my parents over the holidays and we had it on DVD. So I watched it again.
Ooh.
The whole Bond collection now available on Crave, which I was excited to see.
Ooh.
So
is
Ryan,
Crave the free one?
No.
That's crackle.
Ryan, do you have feelings at all towards this movie, or are you just doing what you're told here?
Mostly doing what I'm told. I've seen a number of James Bond movies in general. I mean, oh gosh, we can talk about the GoldenEye Nintendo 64 game.
I played that.
Didn't play that bad boy. Well, hey, there we go. Stay tuned for our sister podcast. Haven't played it.
No, I said I have played it. I said I have played it.
Oh, I'll be the host of the other one. And I don't know.
We should do that, and then I can explain Halo to you. That'd be a great 5-parter.
I played a bit of Halo, but not a lot. I just
there you go.
It doesn't appeal to me that much. Anyways, that's fine.
Anyways, so I feel like I saw mostly the Pierce Brosnan ones more than anything. I think I saw Skyfall and maybe Spectre in theaters, the newer Daniel Craig ones. But I'm pretty sure this is the first time I ever watched Casino Royale.
Seriously? Wow. You hadn't seen it originally? Wait.
I don't think I had seen it.
So you watched it for this podcast, I assume, like for the first time?
First time today.
Whoa.
Yeah.
No, today.
Today.
Holy shit.
I wish I could jump into your brain and experience it for the first time.
How was it? How, like, in general terms?
It was good. It was a good action flick. The last act left me a bit confused during it. I mean, we'll get into it, but
Mm-hmm.
the thing is that because I knew what time we had to start this podcast, I was watching the time bar on the stream really closely. So I was like, this seems
literally
like the
right
ending,
before
but
the podcast started, you finished it.
Amazing.
I was finishing it while I was making this pasta dinner that I just
Christ.
finished eating.
He really is
Oh,
just
boy.
doing what he's told. Yeah.
So it really changes the vibe when you're like, oh, the resolutions happen, but there's 27 minutes left, so something's got to go down.
That's
And,
true.
and
True.
it did. It went down.
It does have a bit of a the Return of the King, Lord of the Rings ending.
Yeah.
It's
And also, I was like,
Unfamiliar.
why couldn't James Bond just fly on those big birds the whole time?
yeah.
I don't understand the reference.
You will. You will.
Yeah.
I also, can we comment about how, like, the way James Bond looks? Because perhaps
You mean
it's just
so
because,
good?
No, but I mean, Daniel Craig as James Bond doesn't really mesh very well to me. My idea of James Bond is dark haired.
That was the big thing when he was cast as James
Mhm.
Bond. Like, a lot of people were super
Right.
upset.
But that's more true to the novelization, right? And the
Is
novel
it?
James Bond is a little more. Isn't he supposed to be a
It
little more
describes his
blonde
hair.
Does
More
it?
blonde
Yeah.
and more
With
like,
eyes that you can get
I don't know,
lost in.
Irish trash
Yeah.
looking y.
Well, no,
Oh.
like blonde was the big issue for a lot of people because they were like, he doesn't look like Bond. He doesn't. However,
Yeah.
Casino Royale.
Is he not a little bit balding?
I don't think so.
I feel
This
like he's
is
got
very
male pattern
fine.
baldness going on.
Yeah, I,
mean,
feel like he's got very
Maybe
fine
now,
hair.
but back then he was
Yeah.
in his prime.
He's got real Zach hair going on.
That's
and young Ryan hair.
well, young Ryan.
How
Young Ryan.
dare you? You're lucky we're not doing this in the same room.
Yikes.
Oh.
Young. Yeah, true. Both of our guests have
Come
the
on.
bald.
No,
I mean, I'm gonna go
No,
bald too, so
you don't.
I'm right there with you.
Anyways, you know what? It just means you guys have high testosterone.
anyway,
High tea.
a lot of people were upset about Daniel Craig, but then they watched Casino Royale, and every one of them I've heard, they told me that they said,
Every person
you know what,
that complained.
we changed
ever.
our minds. Daniel Craig gave such a performance.
Can't wait to hear about it.
Wow, wow.
I know when I first watched this movie in high school, I immediately put on the only suit I owned and just paced around my
Stop.
house psyched. That's
Come
what I
on.
did.
Oh yeah,
Are you
I
kidding?
was just
Just
so
paced?
psyched.
I was
Why?
so psyched.
I'm not kidding. Sorry, I'm not kidding. Oh, just the poker playing and the suits. And I was just like, yes, James Bond. Yes, parkour. Yes, everything. That's all I was doing around my house.
Did you wear the suit to the theater to see it though?
No, I didn't see it in the theater.
I can't remember if I saw it in theater or not.
Was it rated 18A?
Why is that
No.
the funniest thing I've ever heard? James Bond, yes. What I think happens? You want to know what I think?
Oh, I spilled it.
Because you
on me.
haven't seen it, right?
God
No,
damn
I
it.
haven't seen it. I've been so. What the fuck are you doing, Zach?
I spilled it on myself. So
You
I
didn't
was
have to fucking deep throat your fucking hand.
well, it was on my hand, and I didn't
It's
want it to go
actually
to waste.
A reference to one scene in the movie that we'll talk about later.
That's true.
James Bond gets a BJ?
You'll see.
You'll see.
Probably. Okay, here's what I think
Probably.
happens.
JB gets a BJ. Okay.
Probably.
Oh, it's a
Okay.
little Easter egg.
No idea truly what happens. I know Daniel Craig's in it. I'm sure there's some ladies in it. And there's going to be a bad guy. So there's definitely going to be some gambling. So I'm going to say in a casino, and purely based off of me watching the movie Battle Royale, I'm going to assume that there's like a casino
It's probably a
hierarchy
bad tactic.
in which everybody gambles until we have one top gambler, and perhaps everybody fights to the death. So that's what I think happened.
Not far off.
Like a round robin like poker tournament. Okay.
I don't know what that is. What's round robin? That.
It's not a movie. That's just a general term.
Yeah.
Well,
that's
we
like,
should all by
like,
now know.
Like hockey playoffs or baseball or whatever playoffs. You know, sports playoffs.
I don't know. I don't watch sports. No.
All right.
Okay, so that's like
literally
literally
an episode just about
could be my
like
best guess. I'm going to say there's
baseball.
a jet ski. There's going to be a jet ski scene. Something like that.
Haven't seen any baseball.
What do you think happens in baseball?
I actually
I
haven't.
know there's a
do sports.
bat because I've seen baseball bats.
Uh-huh.
Okay. I mean, you got a
I'm not
couple
wrong.
things semi right. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's definitely casino.
Yeah. And gambling.
That's about it.
I think James Bond
And
plays
gambling. Yeah.
blackjack. And that's it.
Well, Zach, I know you've been wanting to talk about the drink,
Oh, yeah.
and I'm not going to let you talk about the drink just yet.
Okay.
But I'm going to let the man himself tell us what this drink is.
We got a screen share happening.
There's a man?
here.
There's a man himself. The drink tonight is called Vesper, and this is what's in it.
Talk to me.
And go.
Oh, God. Look at him.
Oh my God! Yes!
The bomb
I love Mads Mikkelsen.
Gotta watch this movie. Oh, yeah, listen. Shush.
Dry martini.
Oui, monsieur.
Wait. 3 measures of Gordon's, 1 of vodka, half a measure of Kina Lillet, shake it over rice, and then add a thin slice of lemon peel.
Yes, sir.
You know, I'll have one of those.
So will I. Certainly.
My friend, bring me one as well. Keep the fruit.
Hold the fruit.
That's it?
That's such an awkward scene.
It makes more sense in context of
I really hate that. Yeah.
But-
Also, can we just talk about for a moment how that poor fucking server was like, he's like, it's one of those fucking tables, man, where like you go to get one person water, and then when you come back after you've already asked everybody if they have everything they need, that one, everybody's like, oh, can I get this? Oh, can I get that? The guy's like, I'm trying to fucking, why don't y'all say this at the same time when I'm at the table? You know?
Or you know, like the customer that orders the custom drink that you don't have on the menu, and then it's just like, oh fuck. God, now I gotta calculate like what this is gonna cost them.
I mean, to be honest, the stakes of that poker game were high enough that who gives a fuck?
I mean,
I don't know.
He tips the dealer. He tips him like $50,000.
Yeah.
500,000.
500,000? Oh, yeah?
Yes.
The bartender
I can't
gets,
wait to learn how to play
should be a
poker
lot.
from this movie.
That's the one thing you really don't know. I was
Damn
so
it.
psyched about Texas Hold'em, and I didn't even know how to play it at the time.
I was watching it. I remember I was watching it, and my mom was there, and she was watching bits of it, and like they turn over a thing, and she's like, "Oh, well, why did he win?" And I was like, "Well, he had the better hand," and he's like, "But he didn't get 21." And I was like, "No."
I didn't say go fish. Yeah, there is one character who during the poker scenes is like, the current pot is at $15 million.
Yeah.
Bond has to win this one, or
Or
else
we got to
he'll
get to
lose.
that point. But yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I can't wait to hear
Well,
about this.
Just before we start, Zach, what did you want to say about this drink?
Yeah.
Okay.
Fuck.
So
I give you about 2 minutes to talk.
Yeah.
So that first drink that I had, that I was drinking for that first bit, was the Bond spec, where I did exactly what he said. I did 3 measures of Gordon's, which, I mean, you can scale it like up or down, but I just did 3 ounces of vodka, 3 ounces of gin. It wasn't Gordon's. I had Beefeater. 1 of vodka, half a measure of Kina Lillet, which doesn't exist anymore. It existed when Ian Fleming wrote the book, but over the years, the Lillet, the people who make it, they changed the formula to make it more palatable.
30 seconds.
However, I realized, so what they did is they put less quinine in it. It had less of a quinine flavor. Mm-hmm. So what I did is I made my own Kina Lillet. I took some Lillet Blanc, which is what it's called now, and I had cinchona
Matthew
bark,
Blanc's sister,
which is what they make tonic water out of. And I
hate
infused
to this.
the tonic, the Lillet Blanc with the cinchona bark for about an hour before the podcast. So then I strained it through a coffee filter, and then I made a fucking drink.
Wow.
Anyway, so I did the specs that he gave, and it gives you like a 4.5 ounce fucking martini, which is a lot. So I drank that in the first part of this podcast, and what you're listening to now is after one of those.
Well, you say first part as if we've already talked about a portion of the movie. It's been fucking 10 minutes of the podcast, Zach.
Has it only been 10 minutes? Are you kidding me?
No, it's been half hour, but
okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Get to the
I'm
movie.
not that tipsy yet. However, I've made a more reasonable one with better ratios. Over the years, people have kind of refined it, and so this one I'm doing from Death & Co.
All right.
Which still got the lemon peel and everything, but it's slightly better ratios, and it tastes a lot better. Not just like gin.
Thank you, Zach. We will never again allow you free range on a subject ever again.
Well,
we're just about to, actually.
Well, within the confines of a plot, I'm hoping. We'll see what happens.
Well, that's what's going to happen right about now. Zach and Ryan, how does this movie start?
Let me just first say that I appreciate you having me back. We kind of raced through the intros, and we touched on the fact that I was the first guest. And
Ryan.
And I would also like to say,
yeah, go ahead.
I just appreciate you giving me the time.
Go ahead.
To talk about the cocktails.
I don't think I'm the first repeat guest. Did you have the Cookie Biscuits people on?
Yeah, no, we've definitely had other repeat guests.
Yes.
Sorry.
Oh, geez.
We've had other repeat guests.
You're not the first I've been biscuits. Busy. But, I just want to say that the first time I was on, it was, we were all learning how to do it in the moment, and, it came out how it came out. But in the end, Will sent me the file before you posted it and told me to listen to it. And I didn't listen to the whole thing. I scanned it, and there were moments when I let out very large burps directly into the microphone. So when I listened to the released one on the feed and heard that, I had some regret. And let me just say that I've grown as a person, and specifically as a podcast guest. And so this is my campaign. I want to be a podcast guest more. So everyone out there, I'm free. I'm available. I've got a nice, quiet office to do this from, and there will be no burps into the mic in this episode. And you can quote me on that. So thank you for the opportunity. And anyone out there that has a podcast, look me up, and I'm going to prove myself to you on this episode. Thank you for the opportunity.
And I would just like to say. I think I'm a bit drunk already.
Okay, great. So you guys, sorry, how does this movie start?
I like the movie. So.
Oh God.
All right, Zach.
That's my passionate speech.
It's fantastic.
We open on one James Bond.
In black and white.
Black and white.
Very black and white.
Mm-hmm.
In Prague.
Ooh.
In Prague.
That's where my dad's from.
Snowy Prague.
Snowy Prague. Are we going at a good rate here?
Yeah.
Snowy Prague. The snowflakes fall one by one. None
You can almost
similar
count
to another,
1, 2,
as unique as
3.
James Bond is amongst his MI6 operatives.
British, well refined, elegant.
What's he doing?
Mhm.
Well, you don't see
killing
him
some
yet.
guys.
It's some dude.
You guys just said you see James fucking Bond in black and white, and now you're saying
no. We didn't say you saw James Bond.
You did. You said
see
we
a random
opened on a
dude.
James Bond.
You see a random dude walking
say a one
around in
James-
black and white.
Okay.
Okay, guy walks into his office in Prague at nighttime, black and white. And then he like opens up a laptop or he sits down at his desk, but then
No.
obviously-
He goes for a safe, but he sees it's
Oh,
been
in the
cracked
safe.
already, and he's like,
Yes.
"What the heck?" And then you just hear Bond he's sitting in the shadows, and you hear M doesn't mind you earning a little money on the side. She just would prefer if it weren't selling secrets.
Okay, New World.
M.
Okay.
Sorry.
No,
Yeah.
no reading
Yeah.
from the script directly.
No, you can read from the script. Just, tone it down as much as you can, or at least like speed up your
Oh
delivery
yeah.
of it. Yeah.
I was just trying to remember it while I was. That's like a quotable line, though. I'm not
It is
going
a
to
quotable line,
do
yeah.
all of it.
But basically, this guy is like, he works for MI6, but he's been selling like
What's
international
MI6?
British secrets.
It's like
That
the
is-
British CIA.
Yeah.
Ish.
British
And
CIA,
Mum?
yeah.
Is the matriarch?
M.
Like, who is
M.
Mum? But she's
M.
Mum, right? But they call her Mum. Is that
No.
not a spy thing?
No. Mom
Well,
is just
Mum.
British
British
people saying
thing.
ma'am.
Yeah.
Is it?
Mom.
Really?
Yeah.
No, it's not
Yeah, that's all it
mom.
is.
It's
yeah.
not
Yeah.
Mom. It's Mum. Is it Mom?
Yeah, but it's ma'am. They're just saying ma'am, but in a
Mom.
deep British.
What?
So then the other guy says, if the theatrics are supposed to scare me, you have the wrong man, Bond. And then he says, if M was so sure that I was bent, she'd have sent a 000.
You know what?
Benefits
On
of being
second
section
thought,
chief.
don't read
I'd
from the
know
script.
If anyone had been promoted.
Wait, sorry. Do you have the Wikipedia open again? That's
Is
not
that the
how.
script? Where did
The
you get the
script
script?
is online.
You
No,
sent it to
I
me?
take-
know if anyone
no.
had been promoted. Sure, I'll send
No,
it to everyone.
no
Put it in
script.
the group
No
chat.
script.
For later. For
Man.
later.
No,
For
I'll send it to you
later.
now.
Okay.
I got nothing going on. I'll send it to you now.
You got
Okay,
nothing
sweet.
going
Well,
on.
He
Great.
so
You
yes,
want to get together
he's
for
like,
a drink?
He's like, M would send a 000, and then Bond's like, well, I killed your contact.
Your dude. And then it's a flashback to when he killed the dude. So
Even
a 00
more black and
agent,
white.
a 00 agent is someone with a license to kill. That's like the Bond thing.
cool.
Right?
you
They're
have
like
to record 2 kills in the field, and then
to
you're
be
like
able
2
to be promoted.
kills,
Yeah.
and now like what? He then kills like 500 people throughout the rest
So
of the
you just have to
race.
kill
Like,
2
kills is
people.
significant.
Hold on, you have to kill just 2
Or
people
to be
in the
like
field.
assigned to kill 2 people and then actually kill them. I think it's something
Yeah,
like
yeah.
that.
Okay.
Because
Okay.
this is the first point that I wrote down in my notes. Another selling point for me as a podcast guest, I wrote down notes as I watched this film. And the first thing I wrote was, has to kill 2 people to be a 00 agent? That's some pretty dangerous incentive. It makes sense if it was people that they were assigned to kill. I was just
Yeah,
thinking if it
just
was
like
any random
Right.
kill
Just
people,
want
you
to
just go to
Me
like a
too.
truck stop and
Yeah.
just go crazy.
Me too. Yeah, that makes more sense. Okay, okay.
So it makes more
And he
sense.
just
if they were
shows up at
assigned.
MI6 and is like,
yeah.
I killed this lady and her baby.
right?
Yes.
Oh, Jesus, Will.
Yeah,
That's
Will's
2.
always
Still
brings out
counts.
dead
1.5
babies.
maybe, but
Oh, God.
I can find
Okay,
another
Lord.
baby. All
Um,
right.
2 halves make a whole.
Anyway, we see a very brutal like fight scene in this bathroom where he's
Oh.
basically just smashing this guy in the urinals.
Is it
and
gory?
shit.
And
This movie?
not really. No.
But
No.
it is a tone change from the Pierce Brosnan
Oh, totally.
True.
Bonds.
Very
it's
true.
grittier.
Every other
And-
Bond.
Mhm.
Every
True.
other
Oh,
Bond has
true.
been
Every
like
other
kind
one.
of like a little campy and
Austin
like
Powers-y.
exactly. Campy.
there's cool gadgets and like
Yeah.
lasers and fantastical like
Sharks with
villains.
lasers on their heads.
This
Yeah,
is
yeah,
just
yeah.
pure testosterone Bond. That's all this is.
Okay,
This is
so
Bond
he's
for the
bald.
So
new
this was
era.
like a tonal shift. Like Bond is like in the flashbacks, he's like slamming this guy's head into a sink and he breaks the sink and like the guns, like he's wrestling a gun out of his hand and that sort of thing. And he ends up drowning the guy in the sink
Yeah,
that's filled with water.
Mhm.
interesting.
And it's kind
So
of
the guy falls.
director Martin Campbell telling us that we're doing things a little differently this time.
Right. Yeah,
Just a little.
Right off
This
the
is
top.
a different Bond than you're used to.
Mhm.
This is a rough and tumble Bond. This
a
is a
little bit
guy
rough around
who,
the edges.
who shoots first, asks questions later.
Exactly. Delivering his own brand of justice.
This is a gritty reboot Bond.
Yeah, basically.
Yeah, basically we said the same thing like 20 times.
So then he
Yeah.
says, shame.
Well-
We barely got to know each other. I
Yeah,
know.
no, but
But then he shoots him with a gun, right? Or no, the guy
But
pulls
no,
the trigger
the-
on
the
the
guy
guy.
So
pulls
he's
out a
only
gun.
killed one person at this point.
Right.
And he's
One,
like, you're not a 00 agent or whatever. And he was like, no, or whatever. And he was like, shame. But don't worry.
Shame,
Your
shame.
second is much more. And then he shoots him in the head. Bond shoots him in the head. And without him finishing his sentence, he goes, yes, considerably.
Huh?
it's a great line.
I don't get it.
Because
So
he was
the
about to
guy's-
say it's much easier.
Yeah, the second kill is much
the second
easier.
kill is much easier.
Oh.
And then he
Say
shoots
that.
him in the head. And he was like, yes,
I see.
So
considerably.
James Bond
Got
has
you.
the 2 kills now. So
Yeah.
now he
And
can
then-
become a 00 agent. Get my thing.
Oh shit! Yeah, the best part.
Dude,
So like
that
this thing
happens.
that you see Ryan's doing like the iris thing.
So for
For
the
those-
listener, I have a little funnel that I'm putting over the camera of
Oh,
my
I thought that was
laptop.
like a shaker top.
No, it's
Still
it's a
works.
funnel.
Yeah,
And
that looks good.
I'm replicating the look of down the barrel at the beginning of a James
It's
Bond
real
film.
good.
Yeah.
It's real innovative, Ryan.
Great.
Dang,
All right.
it's real good.
It's amazing.
So the iconic Bond down the barrel shot happens because
Gotcha.
basically the guy didn't get drowned and he
And
like
he
gets up in the
grabs a
bathroom
gun.
and runs after him, but then Bond picks up his guns and shoots him. So
From
we see that-
across the white bathroom, and so it's
Yeah.
like the white bathroom, and this like him in the classic Bond stance.
Yeah.
okay.
And then
Uh,
the amazing Casino
oh.
Royale theme song by
Holy
Chris Cornell,
shit.
R.I.P.
Rip.
happens.
Honestly,
And it's great.
I won't say it's the best one because it's subjective, but it's my favorite Bond theme.
Wow.
It's so good. It gets you so every Bond movie has an opening theme, which is like graphics of usually like scantily clad
Sexy
women.
ladies.
Sexy ladies.
But this was the first one. It doesn't have a lady in it. It's just
What?
Bond.
It's just sexy
like
men.
We don't want no girls
Like,
allowed.
Scantily
like,
clad
shoot-
boys
it's like animated things of Bond
Animated
with like
dicks
shooting a gun, but
flailing around.
a spade comes out of it, and then like there's diamonds and clubs and stuff, and
There's a lot of card play, a lot of
theme song.
casino
Oh.
themes.
Gotcha.
Yeah, I'm curious if you know about this. There's a different song for every James Bond film.
I didn't know
based on the
that.
title.
No.
There's been. I'm looking at Rolling Stone's ranking. As podcast guest, I'm taking the initiative to Google lists. I've got the list of the top James Bond themes. We have
Okay, can I
some
just
from the
say
likes
though,
of Paul
really
McCartney.
quick, that usually our guests don't start drunkenly singing until the end, and Zach's
Yeah,
we're at the end.
Zach's already hammered.
This is an important part of the film. It really is. Like the Bond theme, like you hear about the Bond theme, it's released like months and months before the movie. It's like a big, wow, careful.
But there's a lot of songs that, like, just speaking personally, I didn't know were Bond songs originally.
Right. Okay.
Adele,
Skyfall.
Or no, Diamonds Are Forever was a big one.
Mhm.
Which one?
Nobody Does It Better.
Diamonds Are Forever. I think Kanye sampled it once for one of his songs.
Kanye.
I'm just
Kanye.
looking at this
Kanye.
list.
Ever,
Is that no-
Connie A.
I heard
Who's that?
Kanye.
Is that what I said?
Really,
All right.
really surprised to find out that Sheryl Crow did a Bond theme. Tomorrow
No,
Never
really?
Dies. Yeah,
Fuck
Sheryl
off.
Crow.
For which
Tomorrow
one?
Never Dies.
Oh my god.
Oh, wow. I didn't
So
know
all
that.
like country kind of.
Yeah, it's like I want to soak
like
up the sun, but a little edgier.
Wow.
When walking on sunshine.
Well, that's a little time, yeah.
Oh no.
Oh, okay.
Anywho, this is the late great Chris Cornell of Soundgarden.
Take it away,
The
Will.
tune. All right,
Oh,
so
I
we
already
got
played
to
it. It's
the
good.
opening credits.
Yes. And then
Great.
after the opening credits, it becomes the introduction of parkour to the world of this
Come
movie.
on.
Is
Dear
this
God.
really it?
Not really, but it really popularized parkour.
It like ramped it up.
Oh yeah.
I remember like seeing that and be like, what is that? And like learning later, like this thing called parkour.
It does have a name.
It was like, this is unlike any chase scene I've ever seen.
So what happened?
So we're in. Is
It's
it
more
Madagascar?
organic.
So it's in, I think, not Morocco.
Madagascar.
Uganda. We're in Uganda.
Uganda.
Somewhere,
Wait, was it
yeah.
somewhere in Madagascar?
Uganda.
Oh,
At some point, they're in Madagascar,
thank
Can't remember.
God.
but
It might have been that one. It might have been.
Oh,
that
sorry,
minute.
no, sorry.
You're thinking Monte
We're in-
Carlo.
No, sorry. We're in Uganda. Uganda. We're in Uganda
Oh shit! Right. You see
First.
the villain.
because we meet the villain. We meet the
Okay.
villain.
Right.
So you
Cool.
meet Mads Mickelson.
Yeah.
Mads Mickelson.
The world's introduction to Mads Mickelson.
Can I just
Is that
say,
Oh, yeah.
guys,
Yeah.
the first movie I ever saw Mads Mikkelsen in, you say world introduction? Probably. First movie I ever saw him in was, I think, a movie called The Hunt or something. And it was actually a Denmark film.
Yeah.
Yeah. You've
Yeah.
seen The
And I've
Hunt, but you
seen
haven't
that.
seen.
Yeah.
What is
That
this?
was the first
podcast?
time I ever saw him. And then I saw him randomly on the TV for fucking that cannibal one. Yeah.
Hannibal.
Yeah.
And I
You've
was
seen
like,
Hannibal?
No, but I was like,
Oh.
excuse me, that guy's
should. It's
Swedish.
also
He
very
doesn't
good.
belong on the TV here. And then I realized, oh, he lives in
Swedish?
I think
Toronto.
He lives in Toronto.
He
Hold
lives
on.
in Toronto.
I've
Oh,
done
he
my
lives in
motherfucking
Toronto?
homework. Yeah, he does.
Toronto.
Are you kidding?
Yes, he lives in Toronto.
I know, like they filmed Hannibal in Hamilton.
He lives in
Hannibal
motherfucking,
Hamilton.
did I stutter, Toronto.
Wow. I'm
Well,
gonna
I should go
get
find
on
him then.
Wikipedia and fact
Should.
check
Yeah.
this.
Because I have checked if he's married or
Thanks.
not. And I
While,
think he is. So.
While Ryan Googles that, so it's in Uganda. It's like it's hot. Everyone's sweaty.
Yeah.
It's raining though. They're not sweaty. They're wet because it's raining. in
Oh, I
this
thought
scene.
they were just sweaty.
No, they're not sweaty because it's hot. It's raining.
Oh,
Could be both.
But it's
Could be
still
both.
I
hot.
didn't
Yes.
catch that.
We basically see a meeting between like this group of this leader of a freedom fighter group.
No. They're like bad guys.
Well, they're freedom fighters, but
They're like a
they're
bad
painted as
guys.
bad guys in
Oh,
this
okay.
movie because global politics. But and a meeting between this guy and Le Chiffre. That's who Matt
That's-
Mickelson.
Which in French
Hands
means
up,
the
how many
number or the
guys-
equation. I think.
Or the figure. I was googling that word the second it was dry.
Le Chiffre.
the number, the figure. That's a weird name to have.
It is.
But
Yeah.
it's because his mind is so like he's very
he's a
smart.
math whiz.
Yeah, he's a
very
math
very
whiz.
smart.
He's basically he's like a private banker to terrorist organizations. That's
Okay.
that's what he does. So he's the big bad guy.
He's a math
But
guy.
the meeting, this is kind of important. The
He's
meeting
like-
is actually arranged between this guy and Le Chiffre is actually arranged by this man named Mr. White, but he's mysterious. We don't know who this guy is.
Yeah.
He just works
Okay.
for an organization, he says.
He's just kind of like I don't even think he says anything in that scene. He's just kind of standing there and like
He just says
nodding.
no. The guy says like, so like, well, how can I trust this man I've never met before with my money? And Mr. White's like, our organization just arranges the meetings or whatever, blah blah blah.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
That's the only thing he says.
And so the guy's like, all right, transfer the funds to his account or whatever.
Yeah, so
Mhm.
he's basically holding the money, but then immediately after he phones his like accountant or his investor, some guy who's like somewhere in Britain or something,
In the UK.
and he asks him to like buy stocks that are basically playing against the market. Like he's like basically he's using the money to buy stocks in things with his client's money. Like,
But
Okay.
he says like, I want you to short this airline company. And and they're like, so like, wait, you want to bet against the company? That makes no sense. And he's like, I don't pay you to question me. I just pay you to do it. And he's like, all right. So he does it. And then cut to
Madagascar.
I don't know if it's Madagascar. Is it Madagascar?
I'm looking at the Wikipedia page right now.
Okay, then it's Madagascar. So cut to Madagascar.
This is the parkour scene. Yes,
it's a snake fight versus a pine marten.
A mongoose.
Mongoose. Oh yeah.
What the fuck is a pine marten?
I don't.
A what?
No, I was just guessing. Anyway,
pine marten.
It's like an animal fight, and there's like, it's in a little small amphitheater, and there's like 100 people there, and they're all watching and yelling and betting and waving money and stuff.
And inconspicuously, there's 2 white guys there.
Yeah, and so Bond's kind of up above. He's like watching him with his sunglasses on, leaning against a pole, looking cool. And then there's another
leaning against the side of a building.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Whatever it is, he's leaning against something,
like a pole of a building.
No, it was like a solid foundation
of a pole, yeah. And then, but he's got a friend. He's got another agent there who's in the crowd, and they're watching this guy with scars on his face. He's got like a bunch of scars, and you find
they're
out
all like holding money out, like they're
they're
it's
like
the mongoose and the snake are strippers
$20,
or something.
20 smackaroos.
But they're just like
throwing
money down.
Give me all you got, and then and Bond and the second guy is just like, he's not moving. Should I get closer? And Bond's like, no, stay where you are. Just hold off or whatever. And he's getting some interference. He's like, sorry, what? And he's like, take your finger away from your ear. And he's like, what? I can't hear you. And then he looks over at the guy, and the guy sees him with his finger against his ear. And he's like, oh shit. So the guy starts running. And then the second guy starts chasing him, and he pulls out his gun, but like he falls into the pit with the fucking Viper and shoots his gun, and everybody scatters. So it's like chaos.
Pandemonium.
And Bond's just like, here we go again. And so he starts chasing the guy with the scars on his face.
And that's
then it's like a
chase
10-minute long chase sequence.
It is, yeah, it's very long.
Full of parkour.
Mm-hmm.
And
parkour,
like
cranes.
It goes into like a construction site.
Yeah. They climb up the beams, and the guy like fucking the bad guy shoots some people, and a guy falls with a fucking propane tank and blows the whole thing up. And they get to the very top, and they jump onto a crane. And these are all like real stunts, like behind the scenes. They did a real. Yeah,
this was before like super CGI stunts and stuff like that. Daniel Craig, I think, actually was doing some of these things up on. The only CGI they did was like take off the safety wires they had. But there's like a fight. They're on top of a crane, on part of like the struts of the crane, fighting like side by side. Like they're not even facing each other. They're like fighting side by side on top of a crane, on top of a construction site. It's insane.
It is.
It's really cool though.
They get down somehow. Can't remember how, but anyway, they jump down somehow. Oh yeah, the crane. They do big jumps.
They jump from one crane to another crane. But the parkour guy is better at it, so he's like quicker, and also Bonds is like trying to keep up with
this
him.
guy is like one of the founders of parkour, right? Isn't he?
Was he actually?
Actor? Yeah, that guy.
Ryan's gonna quick fact check.
He's so good at it.
Just pulling this up real quick. Hold on. Hold, please.
No, that makes sense. I'm going with that.
It's Sebastian Foucan.
Wow.
Who's an early developer of parkour.
So cool.
Cool. Yeah. And then so once they jump down from the cranes, they're like in the buildings, and he's parkouring through the buildings. And my favorite part is there's a tiny hole kind of near the ceiling, and the guy, he jumps up and he smoothly just kind of fits himself through this tiny hole near the ceiling and keeps running. And then Bond just runs right through the drywall. He just kind of like head first, just like bursts through and then just keeps running.
Which again is significant because in previous Bond films he's always so smooth and like everything he does is like perfect. This movie he's so rough and everything. He like makes mistakes left, right, and center all the fucking time.
Interesting.
Yeah.
Took the words out of my mouth.
And like stuff like the parkour guy to get to the top of that crane. He's like climbing girders and stuff. And Bond just runs over to this thing, the crane thing that's holding a bunch of pipes, and he just like hits something on and releases the pipes, which sends the thing flying upwards, and he just kind of holds onto it and flies all the way up. All the guys like climbing
things and hits and things went down, and that sends the thing. I don't know the word for that thing either.
Anyway, so after this huge chase, which is also very cool. The guy he's chasing runs to an embassy. I can't remember which embassy it is.
Oh yeah, I don't know.
Let me pull it up real quick.
While Ryan pulls it up, I'll talk about it. So he runs to the embassy, and Bond like kind of jumps over the fence from a car that he's hitched a ride on,
surfing,
and sneaks into the embassy. And so the guy thinks he's safe. So he's meeting with some guy in the embassy.
Technically is because conducting his secret agent business in an embassy is actually goes against international law.
Yeah.
So he's actually breaking the law now.
That's why the guy has like let his guard down, because he's like, well, he can't get me in here or else it's going to be, it's going to be like a big issue. And he's in the office.
It seems it's a fake embassy.
Nambutu.
Oh, so they made it up for the film.
A fabricated nation. Yes.
Okay.
So in any case, the bomb guy's in the.
This guy's a bomb
guy.
maker.
He's a bomb maker.
That's why they were monitoring him,
and he's got scars on his face.
Got you.
So Bond just kind of breaks into the thing. He just walks through the halls, goes into the office that the guy's hiding in, and then just like grabs him, punches out the embassy guy he's with, and just grabs him and like takes him essentially and starts pulling him out. All these guys start coming out, shooting up the thing, and the guy's got him by the collar with his gun, and like he's not killing anybody. He's just like shooting pipes.
No deaths. He didn't kill nobody.
He's shooting pipes to shoot steam out and it's like huge action sequence. He throws him out a window to go the back way, but then they all surround him and they all got him, and he's got him in front of him with his gun or whatever. And the guy's like, please don't do this. And he's like, fine. So he like pushes him forward and like holds out his gun and throws it. But little do they know, he's got a gun in his back pocket.
Oh.
So he pulls out the gun, shoots the bomb maker, then shoots this propane tank. There's a huge explosion, and everybody falls down. They get up, and he's gone. And they're like, "What the heck?"
And then he's off in a ditch somewhere hiding, but he has the bomb maker's backpack, and he like looks in through it. He pulls out a bomb and carefully puts it on the ground. And then he pulls out the dude's cell phone. He looks at his last text messages, and all it says is ellipsis.
Like it says the word.
Take a few steps back, because this is the first scene where he shoots a tank. There's multiple scenes where he shoots various tanks and pipes, and it always works out. And it just makes me curious. Like, does this really happen in the real world? Are there certain types of tanks that are identifiable?
Did they do that on Mythbusters?
That's one of the
MI6
training modules is like
which tanks.
So they like in addition to gun training, they show you where to shoot tanks to make them explode.
You're speaking so sincerely
in a really
it's
cool
great.
way.
I love it.
Yeah.
No, that makes sense.
No complaints here.
Speaking of speaking clearly, I need another drink.
Christ.
I'm done my drink.
So the guy's last text message is it the word ellipsis or is it the symbol?
Yes.
It's the word
ellipsis. It's not 3 dots, no.
Okay.
That would make it even better if it was just 3 dots, then they'd have to decipher that shit.
They're like, what?
Like, what does that mean?
Yeah. Okay.
But we then cut to London, England, and we finally meet M. Now, I don't know if you know this, Alenka. I'm sure Zach would love to talk on this, which is great that he's on a drink getaway. But there's like a theory. There's a kind of a conspiracy theory about the James Bond films, and that, you know how the Marvel universe is all one continuous kind of storyline timeline,
Sure.
right? Everything's connected. That's the theory of all the Bond movies. All the Bond movies are connected.
No, it's
and
dumb.
James Bond
Sounds dumb.
is just a code name.
No.
It's not an actual person's name. He's just a code name for
well,
many different
actually,
people.
yes. Isn't James Bond a code name anyways? Or his code name's
007 is the
007.
code name.
Got you.
Yeah. Because M, we're introduced to M, who is the head of MI6, and she's played by Judi Dench, who also played M in the Pierce Brosnan movies. Thus,
Oh, that's
sparking
cool.
the debate of whether or not all the movies are connected, because they were like, why is it the same M from the Pierce Brosnan movies?
Because it's
Simple
Hollywood.
answer,
They do what
she's
they
a great
want.
actress.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did Zach go to the bathroom?
I think he did, yeah.
It sounds so.
What do you think, Ryan? What do you think about this theory?
My theory is that I think it's the infinite universe theory, similar to previous episode Into the Spider-Verse, in which there are multiple James Bonds, but due to rifts in time space, certain people can move between worlds.
No.
That's it.
No.
Great.
None of that. No.
Well, in any way, we meet M, who's super
Yeah.
fucking pissed off that 007 just shot up a whole embassy. And she's all like screaming at her assistants, like, what the fuck was he thinking? Well, she doesn't say fuck, but she says something along the lines.
What the fuck?
F. What the F?
And then
What the frig?
she leaves whatever. She leaves where they're located in MI6 to go to her house. But 007 is there. He broke into her house and is like, he's using the cell phone. Is it the cell phone's like card, whatever it's called, the SIM card.
SIM card.
Yeah.
And he's plugging into one of M's computers because she has access to everything, and then finding out where the text came from.
Wait,
Like
I'm
location.
so confused. This is 007 doing some backhanded alley work? What?
Yeah, he's doing his own little, like, this is kind of like he's so dedicated to his job that he does it for fun. He's not even he's not even getting paid to do this.
He's working on the weekends,
Yeah.
He's breaking into
His
M's
boss's
house. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
If
Go
you
on.
love what you do, you never work a day in your life.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And James Bond has taught us that.
But using some fancy technology on this computer, he finds out the text came from a cell phone that was in the Bahamas in a very specific resort at a very, like, somehow they pinpoint the exact GPS coordinates of where the text came from. And it's in the Bahamas. And just as he's like loading the GPS information and closing the laptop, M enters.
Yeah.
And
her
again,
house.
pissed off, like that he
You're
broke into
in
her
my
house.
fucking house. Makes sense.
Exactly. Yeah. Then
And
what
does he get
happens next?
fucking fired?
Oh God, let's see.
Kind of. Not fired, but he's, she's like, you better, cool it.
Yeah, I think she says take
Cool.
a break.
Yeah.
She gives him a little finger wag and says, "Don't be breaking into my house no more."
I'm confused, though.
he
I'm
does-
so
what-
fucking
what-
confused.
what?
Like, what was his
About
original
what
mission?
specifically?
Why is it that he has this information that, like, why didn't he just come back and say, hey, look, I got this thing. Let's check it. Why did he have to break
Because-
into?
Because he's a rogue. He's a rogue.
He killed this guy in Madagascar, and it went into the newspapers worldwide. It was like MI6 agent kills unarmed man. And so it's making the agency look bad. So they want him to take a break, but he's like, I got to solve this thing. I have a lead. I got data. I got a location. I'm going to the Bahamas.
So
And
they
that's his
told him,
arrogance.
they told him to take a break before he broke into the house.
No. She's about to tell him to take a break just now.
Why did he break into
Because
the house, though?
he knows that they're going to put him in, because he needs to because he knows he's going to be like asked to be put on. He knows that he's going to be put on leave. So he's got to get these coordinates his own way so that he can go do his own espionage work.
So he uses M's computer.
Yeah. Because he's arrogant. He thinks he's the only one who could do the job. Like,
he's a new
Got
Bond.
you.
It's gritty. He has his own brand of
Got you.
justice.
Yeah.
Things are being done a little differently around here.
Yeah.
So he does make a snide comment to M. He says, I always thought that they just assigned letters randomly. I had no idea M stood for. And then
Say
she's
another
like,
syllable and I'll have you killed or something.
that's, yeah.
What is
That's what
what was he
Judy Dench said,
insinuating?
or something at the end.
What was he
Sorry?
insinuating that M stands like?
For like, I
think they're
probably a
saying
silly
Emma.
name, like, M stands for like Marjorie or something. I don't know.
Well, no, she says say
Oh.
another syllable, and so I think they're implying her name is Emma.
Oh,
Now-
so
What?
wait. So
Really? No.
So
No.
stop. So
Stop, everybody,
the
stop.
implication is that he now knows her real identity,
Yeah.
and that's
Yeah,
like
'cause
what,
he's
a
that good
backhanded
at hacking.
threat?
No, just like to show how good he is. He's the
Yeah.
best man for the
Okay.
job for anything.
Yeah, whatever.
And also it says that like in MI6, like the top brass have code names that like, so nobody actually knows their real names. They're just known
Right.
as M and in later
Q.
movies Q. Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Q for
Moneypenny.
quartermaster.
Moneypenny.
Well, that's her actual name. Well,
Right.
in the modern movies, her actual name.
Now,
I don't know if it's,
This is my stupid brain when I first watched this movie. So
Mm-hmm.
she says that, and then he gets to go on the elevator, and she's like, "And Bond, if you ever break into my house again, I'll have you killed."
Yeah.
And he goes, I think he says like thanks, but he says, as Alenka pointed out, he says mom.
Yeah.
He does do that in the scene.
And
well, that's just ma'am
No, I
with
know.
a British accent.
No, I don't think
but my
it
brain, when I
is.
first watched that movie, I was like, "Is M his mom?"
No,
Mm.
I
That's what
really
you'd
don't.
think. You'd think,
I don't think that mum is just ma'am in a British accent.
Yes,
Mom.
I watch all movies with subtitles. It says "ma'am" in the subtitles
What?
because that's just British people going "mom."
But what about when they
It's
aren't
the way
British
they
and they
say it.
still? Okay. All right,
Then they say
And they're
"ma'am."
talking to their moms.
mum. Okay.
It's often
okay.
like in novels and stuff.
Mom.
It's often written as MARM, like marm.
Marm.
Okay.
Mom.
Another wrinkle to
All right.
this
Kind of.
movie.
I hate
Sometimes
this.
in
But
some.
continue.
Anyway,
Cut to the Bahamas, the sunny Bahamas.
Hey-o.
Vacation, Bond on vacation.
Clearly,
Nice.
one of those things like how Adam Sandler has all of his movies set in Hawaii just so that he can spend months in Hawaii.
Yeah. The producers of James Bond films are like, let's go to exotic locales for
Please.
vacations.
and also this
Clearly.
is one of the first of the kind of meta jokes. So there were a lot of Bond stereotypes, like the cocktails, like the fancy cars and the gadgets and stuff like that. So in every Bond film, there's always been like an Aston Martin or like a fancy car, right? And so he shows up in the Bahamas, and it's like the cool James Bond music or whatever, and it shows him like driving up in a Ford like rental car.
Yeah.
And they make a big deal of showing the car, but then you realize it's just like a rental, and it shows him driving.
Mhm.
Cute.
So it's like a meta joke, like you
No, we
expect
get
him to
it.
be
We get it,
driving
Zach.
like a fancy car. Yeah.
Good.
And so basically he shows up to a resort, and he parks his car, and then he like bends down to tie his shoe, and some dude like walks up and is like, "Oh, you're the valet? Take my car," because he's wearing just like a white shirt and khakis. So he just looks like he's part of the staff. Then he takes
Sure.
his
He's
dude's
tying
car.
his shoes so he can scope out the security cameras.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And it's like, this is all happening in the moment, but it feels very pre-planned by Bond, because he takes the guy's car and just crashes it into a pole and
know
other
what?
cars
In
or into like
my-
a barrier.
In my opinion,
Okay.
it's a little like the rules of improv, where maybe he wasn't expecting that to happen, but you know what? He said yes, and he went with it. And there's no mistakes in a scene, and he used this new information. Information is a gift, and he took the car and he devised a plot on the spot, and he set off some alarms by crashing the car into some other cars, and he went from there. And it's just kind of another way that Bond plays it by ear, and
he really heralded
lives on
it.
the fly.
Yeah.
So now we can tag the assembly improv in this.
Yes. Registration opens Monday.
Oh yeah.
I think
We'll talk.
They have sketch classes.
So he basically crashes the car so that security leaves their office, and he sneaks into the security office and checks all the tapes. He finds the tape for the day that the text message was sent. He knows exactly where the text was sent. So he sees the exact time, and he sees a guy getting out of a really nice Aston Martin car and then pressing send on a text message. And he knows that's the dude who sent the ellipsis text. I need to find that dude who's at this resort right now, apparently. So he goes to front desk and he flirts with the front desk person. They don't have sex.
They don't have sex.
No, you think they might, because
you think they might have sex.
She immediately looks up and she's
literally every woman he
guy.
talks to, you think they might have sex.
That's true.
Because let's be real, I would.
Great.
Daniel Craig were to come up to me and we're that first one counts as 3.
Okay.
It does.
Let's be honest. That was 4.5 ounces of.
So Zach, are you staying on top of your diabetes? Are you gonna be okay later?
These are no carb. Well, there might be a little bit of carbs in the Lillet Blanc, but there's so little of it in the drink that.
All right.
Great.
These are only bringing my sugars down, baby.
He finds out who this man is. She says he makes up this story that he dented this man's car in order to find out the owner of the car. And she's like, ooh, I wouldn't mention it to him if I were you, because he's got a short temper, but he lives in a house up the beach. So now he knows who this man is. He knows his temperament. He knows he's got to be cautious.
He's a spy.
He's a spy. Let's be honest. James Bond is a spy, and that's not talked enough about.
It's true.
You just think he wanders into these situations and he's just kind of improvising stuff like that.
I mean,
I'm not
James
gonna
lie to you
do.
guys.
That's what spies.
I don't really think that anyone really does just think that he just walks around and wanders into these situations. I'm pretty sure everybody recognizes that he's assigned these things.
I guess so.
Well, he's not assigned this mission. He's going rogue. Yeah,
hell yeah.
Exactly.
Yes.
So he finds out the car belongs to a Mr. Demetrios.
That's Greek.
So he likes to play poker, I guess. Yeah, he is a Greek guy, I think. He looks a little Greek.
I'm pretty sure that's a Greek last name, so I'm going to say I wouldn't based off looks. I'm just going to say
as
very
a
Greek.
sort of almost Greek,
His first name is Zeus.
No, honestly, his first name is probably
Alex.
Demetrius.
Oh, yeah, it's Alex.
It would be
which is Alex, also a very Greek name.
All
He goes to a poker game with this fellow.
Actually, he doesn't go to the poker game yet. We have a brilliant scene of a woman on a white horse on the beach.
We got to talk about him coming out of the water.
Can we talk about the horse?
Yeah, the horse.
Got to talk about the horse.
Now, this woman is riding on a horse with beautiful music behind her on a public beach, on a resort beach.
Yeah.
Children in her stead chasing after her.
Yeah, there's children, and then
they're smiling.
Yeah.
It holds a little too long on the children smiling, where it's just
he's in love with her.
He's just
and he's 5. He's like,
when I grow up, I wanna bang her.
I want a horse.
So weird.
I want a horse.
Yeah, I want to bang that horse.
Okay.
Okay.
And then she passes by,
Maybe
but then
not.
out of the water comes Daniel Craig in the tightest, smallest shorts you'd ever did see.
Wait, I'm sorry. They just had that woman with the horse just cause they're like, this is the activities that go on this beach.
We'll get to her.
Okay.
But
She's
he comes out
important.
of the water, which it was supposed to be an homage to the very first Bond film with Sean Connery. And there's this woman that comes out of the water in a skimpy skimpy
Sure.
at the time in the 70s or 60s. Yeah. Can't remember. At the time, it was like a very revealing swimsuit, and she emerges out of the water, and it was like a whole thing back in the day. And so they recreated it with Daniel Craig coming out of the water in this tiny little, almost Speedo.
Cool.
And
it's very tiny.
And it's basically turning norms on their head. And saying that men
Sure.
can be, objects of, the sex objects too. And
why not?
Let's gawk at Daniel Craig's body a bit.
Sure.
And that's okay.
That's basically what the scene's for.
Yeah.
But the woman on the horse goes to like this house, and we see on the balcony of the house is Mr. Demetrios, and Bond is doing renaissance. No, reconnaissance.
He's doing Renaissance paintings.
Yeah.
That's why he's so scantily
Just a bit of
clad.
Monet on the beach.
Yeah, reconnaissance, and so we know where he lives. We know that's his like girlfriend or wife
on the horse,
his wife, and then
and who are the
basically
kids?
we cut to
just beach kids, local beach kids,
local beach kids.
When you get onto your beach, your local beach, there's just kids out there,
beach rats.
Rats.
Sure.
So in the evening, he loves playing poker, Mr. Demetrios. This whole movie is about poker, basically.
Okay.
And basically, Bond joins in on the game and beats him. Because Bond's a fantastic poker player. He basically puts them all in, and Demetrios wants to like write a check, and the person on the table is like, no, fuck that. Like the dealer is like, no, you're not allowed to do that, sir.
Yeah.
And he's like, and then he pulls out the keys to his car, and he's like, that's my car. I put that in. And he beats him. Bond beats him and wins his car from him. And he's very upset.
A quick thing. There's another meta joke in there where he goes up to the bar and orders a drink, and you see the two guys that whose car they threw him the keys that they thought he was the valet. Those two guys are at the bar, and Bond orders a drink, all cool or whatever, and he turns and he gets his drink, and you expect it to be like a shaken martini, like whatever, like a cool drink, and it's just like a frilly little highball drink with like a straw in it or whatever, and he just gets it, and the two guys look at him weird, and it's supposed to be like he's supposed to have a martini.
Like we're doing things a little differently. Brand of justice.
It's a brand of justice.
Gritty.
A little more
Look at
gritty.
this.
Yeah.
Turning expectations.
So he wins the car. During the poker game, though, the woman on the horse comes over and like kisses him on the neck. Not Bond, the
Greek man,
her husband,
the
the Greek
incredibly
man.
Greek man.
Yes, the super Greek man. And he's like, if that was for good luck, you're an hour late. And then she's all spurned and upset.
Right.
So Bond wins the car, and then he gets it from the valet, and that woman goes to get in it and then looks at him and is like, oh, no wonder he was so upset. And Bond talks his way into her panties.
God,
easily.
God, he's like, let me take you to my place, and he drives around the little roundabout and right back to the apartment. She's like, is it close? And he's like, very. And he just kind of turns and does a turnaround.
Because he's staying at the hotel that they're already at. So he does a little joke where he drives in a circle and is like, I'll take you to my place, but we're already at my place. Yeah. And it works. Honestly, it's like,
and she's like, I'm
take
gonna fuck you,
guys.
I would.
Right.
Take notes.
Break my vows for this little trick.
Well, yeah.
What a brat.
This dude isn't
Hate
being very nice to her.
No, he
then
looks like a bad dude.
Why not Bond? Why not Bond?
Why not Bond?
Why not Bond?
Sounds like a
sure.
That's a good cold open.
Yeah.
Edit point.
And meanwhile, Demetrios goes to meet La Chifra on his fucking boat because La Chifra's also in the Bahamas, apparently.
Nice.
Wait, no, they don't. He calls him.
No, he goes to meet him.
No, he doesn't.
Yeah, he does. He meets him on the boat. He does.
All right, I'm checking Wikipedia.
No, you don't have to check. He does.
I'm checking Wikipedia. I'm checking it.
He goes and meets him on the boat.
I'm checking.
And Lashifra is
checking
like, you got to find a new guy to pull off this job because my bomb maker was killed and blah, blah, blah. So the guy's like, okay, I got a guy in Miami. I will go meet with him tonight. Blah, blah, blah. There was also a scene we missed where we see Lashifra on the same boat and we see his girlfriend like come out of the water and he's playing poker because Lashifra loves poker.
His girlfriend, this is important. She has like a slanty haircut.
Okay.
So you see
asymmetrical?
Like her hair,
like an emo
her
cut.
hair cut.
Yeah.
Her hair
It's
covers
not an emo
one
cut.
of her
It's
eyes.
fucking
we're
asymmetrical.
we're speaking your language, Alenka.
So does she have a pixie
hair
cut? Is it
expert.
short or long?
No. It's long. It's very long and blonde.
Just bangs that go in front of the eye.
But like bangs that like cover her one eye.
She
And
has
it looks very good. It's very well done.
Is it
very
like
villainous, yeah.
very like wavy, like old Hollywood waves?
No. It's well, she usually has it
Let me
straight.
pull it up.
You first see her coming out of the water in a bikini.
Okay.
So she like you think she's like gonna be.
I think we're spending too much time on this haircut.
Yeah. Sorry.
No, it's
slanty
important to her
haircut was really
character because she
confusing.
doesn't really have much else to
She
her
does
character.
not have a character. She is
Other
the
than
bad guy's
slanty
girlfriend
haircut.
Okay.
who's used
Great.
as bait
Okay.
Yeah.
and nothing else. Anyway,
Good.
the other thing we know is that Lashifra bleeds from his eye. He has a
Why?
scar on his eye. And
Yeah.
he bleeds from his eye, and he says
Well,
something
no,
like,
one of
blood
his
from
eyes
the
is
tear
dead.
duct is a buildup. Yeah, he's like a dead eye, and he has blood buildup in his tear duct, and it leaks, and then he has to wipe it away.
That
Because
sucks.
it looks
it's like a
very
milky
fucking evil.
eye.
Yeah.
Yuck.
But it's Matt
like
Mickelson.
cataract.
So you're like, that's fine.
Yeah.
Anyway, now we know Demetrios is going to meet with a new bomb guy in Miami. Meanwhile, Bond is like making out on the floor with his wife in his
Gross.
hotel room.
Oh my god.
And they have this little back and forth of like, why do I fall for the bad guys? You, my husband. And then he's like, what makes your husband a bad guy? And it's like, oh, his nature. And then
Sure.
Bond
his
is like,
nature.
the nature of his work. This is
Yeah.
this is the woman
Yeah, I see
here.
it. Thank you.
Yeah, great.
Yeah. Send
And
a
then
photo of the
she gets a
haircut.
phone call from her husband, and her husband's all like, I gotta go to Miami. Peace out. Goodbye.
Meanwhile, they're
Goodbye.
banging.
Yeah. Like she literally makes out with Bond as she's on the phone with her husband, which
Which
is
is
total.
rude.
Which is
So
You know,
rude.
it's infidelity.
even though her husband's a scumbag.
they stood before
on.
God on their wedding day.
Although, he's
Yeah.
single. So like,
No, that's not
What? So
not
what, Zach?
acceptable.
No.
So what? Jesus.
Talk to us about your shitty
And,
morals.
Okay. And then basically he's all like, oh, we're going to need more champagne if you're going to stay here all night. And she goes to the bedroom and he phones the reception and he's like, oh, a bottle of, and he says a brand of champagne that I assume is super fancy
and caviar.
and caviar. And the guy on the other end, he's like looking at her and the guy says like, for one, sir. And then he goes back, what's that? And he's like, for one. And he goes,
No, for two,
for
for
two,
two."
sir. And he goes, no, for one. And then hangs up because he's on his way to Miami.
Miami.
Cut to
Not LA.
Miami.
Miami.
LA, Miami.
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 Yeah.
And so he's in a cab and he's coming from the airport there, and he's following Demetrios or wherever, and they get to a true signal of the time.
Yes.
Right.
Body
yes.
Works.
Body
A
Worlds.
Body Works exhibit.
Body Worlds.
Body Worlds. Yeah.
The Body
Body Worlds.
Worlds
Yeah,
exhibit.
What is that?
That
Which
was
was-
where it was it was huge. I don't know if
Yeah.
they still do it, but
It was
it's
almost
like,
as big as Shen Yun, you know?
yeah.
Oh.
It was like when they got
I've
dead
seen that.
bodies.
I've seen
And
Shin
they-
Young.
Instead of just like kind of posing skeletons in fun ways, they completely preserved every part of the body. So like the muscles, the bones, it was everything but the skin, I think.
Yeah.
And then posed
What?
them in like
Random
different
places.
That's
in random
gross.
places and stuff like that.
Demetrios is carrying a bag with probably some stuff in it for his bomb guy.
Yeah.
And he checks the bag in, gets like a tag for the bag, walks into the Body Worlds exhibit, and then he places the tag onto one of the like display. There's like a poker game of all these bodies, places it onto a poker chip.
And Bond sees him do all of this.
Yeah. But he notices Bond. He knows Bond is there, and he sneaks up behind Bond and like sticks a knife in his back. Not like but like holds him up.
And
but
like
then Bond
starts
turns
guiding
around
him.
and they do like a struggle fight, but like in a crowd, no one knows that they're fighting. They're just like trying to be
just
as
the two
subtle
of them,
about it.
standing there like trying to like turn the knife
And stab
into
each other.
the other one.
Yeah.
And then
It's
Bond does the classic like look over the guy's shoulder, like, oh, what's that?
It truly does that trick.
Come
Look
on.
over there.
Yeah.
And then he stabs him.
It doesn't seem as ridiculous in the moment because
it's
it's very
very,
tense,
yeah.
but yeah, when you think about it afterwards,
That's
like
what it is.
Yeah.
he fell for it.
Did you guys go to the Body Worlds exhibit? I went.
No.
Never
I did
went.
not. No,
It came to Edmonton, Alberta, where I'm originally from, and I went as a teen, and I saw it. And I don't know, like those are people that presumably agreed to sell their bodies to science or to some whatever this corporation is that does this.
Yeah.
But I wonder if they knew when they signed that form that they would be put in
It's
playing
Casino
poker,
Royale.
or one of them was
like-
on a horse, which was also like
skinned.
Ew.
skinned and like just muscles and bone
That's
and
so
stuff.
gross.
Let's see if I can find a.
So he kills
No.
Greeky man.
Oh, yes.
And
Right.
he goes to look for the bag tag, but it's already been grabbed by whoever he was like giving the tag
Leaving
to.
it
Some other fellow.
And so he has Demetrius's cell phone number,
Yeah.
and it also has the code word ellipsis in it as well. So there's a code word ellipsis, and he phones the cell phone and he sees the guy answer the phone like walking out onto the street. And so he follows him to the Miami airport, and he's following him, and the dude catches on. He kind of like looks, he's putting on sunglasses, and he sees Bond behind him in the mirror. And then he does the classic dip below the camera. He literally does that.
Oh,
and then
really?
Bond loses sight of him. Yeah, it's kind of
Come
kind
on.
of silly. Yeah, he literally dips below the camera, and then Bond loses sight of him in a busy airport. But
It could work.
he puts on in the bag. That's the Body World.
Zach has provided an image of a
Gross.
Body Worlds. What
Great.
a man!
He's a
Captain
pirate
ship? A pirate ship?
You know, he's
I hate that.
Like I would want a say in which activity my
that's
body
a real
was doing.
person. That used to be a person.
Like
I
That's
want to
that
be
fucking
mid parkour
gross.
if I'm going to do that. That's what I
exactly
wanna
cool
do.
stuff like that. But what if like your grandpa was donating his body to that, and they're like, "Well, we got him piloting a pirate ship."
Yeah.
Yeah.
We painted a Hitler mustache on him and did a
Jesus.
mid-Nazi pose.
Yeah.
It's a
Sure.
Body World's history exhibit.
I wouldn't put it past him.
I hate
Okay.
that.
Anyway.
Let me do some research on Body World. You guys keep
No,
talking.
no,
the
no,
bag.
no, no.
Playing the sax.
Okay.
I hate that so much.
This episode's going to
No
be
more
3.5
of that.
hours long. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in the bag that the guy took is like a security outfit. So the guy puts it on and like has a security tag, and he goes up to this door, the security door, and he gets through the security door, and Bond follows him, and he's like trying to type. He looks at the pad, and then he realizes
But
ellipsis.
he's on
He
the
does.
phone with MI6 and he's telling them like, you got to shut down the airport. Like there's going to be a bomb that goes off. Like you need to do something
And
about
they're
this.
all like, Bond, you shouldn't be doing shit. You're on vacation, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. What the
Right.
hell?
Turd.
But then he's like, you know what? Never mind. And he hangs up and he types in ellipsis into the keypad.
Oh.
And I
it
want
works.
to talk about this, guys. This is the just a random
What
security
keypad?
door in the Miami airport. Just a random door in the Miami airport to get like into the
But this
backstage.
door, if he didn't get into this door, it wouldn't,
But
like the plot wouldn't
the thing
progress.
is, he guessed this. He guessed that was the code based on the code word ellipsis. But I want to know the logistics of this. All the hundreds of people working at the Miami airport. Did this code? Was this always the code? Did this change recently? Where like the manager? I'm not done. Where the manager was like, "Sorry guys, I'm part of an international crime syndicate, and we have a new code. Well, it's this code word. I know the code's usually like 1, 2, 3, 4, but we have to change it to like 6 letters now because it's ellipsis. Because this fucking guy told me
Think
that I
about
had to
this
change it."
though. If you have like a code for your phone, like a 4-letter code for your phone,
Sure.
let's say it's 2345.
Sure.
I'm just looking at my phone now.
Right.
You can make up a word with 2, 3, 4, 5. You can use the word
Sure. Yes. We know.
adige.
We
That's not a
understand.
word.
Adige.
Right.
Okay.
Sure.
The code could be adige.
My point is
you
that
know,
I think-
the pure logistics of this.
Yeah.
I want to know when this happened. Like whose
Ryan,
level of
really?
security clearance?
Do you
where
really
they're like,
want to know what happened?
Honestly,
Or are you
it's
honestly,
when
though,
we get to these little things
but
like this
honestly,
that the
and
movie
like
starts
a-
to fall apart.
and I mean, you think about like the big hack the other day of like in the government, like they got hacked because of their passwords weren't very secure or whatever. Like how, I mean, it makes you think about.
I mean, it's improbable. In a post 9/11 U.S. airport, that code is probably changed daily. So let's
Right.
just get over it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Brian looks extremely angry, but that's fine.
He gets through. He gets through the airport,
Moving on.
and then he triggers. Bond triggers.
Speaking of Ryan,
the fire alarm.
Okay.
pouring
yeah.
a
To get
drink-
everybody out.
Oh God.
Yeah.
Zach is going for his fourth.
Oh my
fine.
god. Okay, well, let's keep going.
Yeah.
I haven't drank anything in like the last half hour.
He slows down the podcast anyway. So.
Yeah. Cut
It's
to
raining.
the tarmac of the Miami airport.
Yeah.
By communicating with his MI6 cohorts, he learns that there is a new large jetliner being revealed today, the largest commercial airliner in the world to date.
Also, we did miss a secret cameo in the beginning of this.
Okay.
As Bond is running, as he's following the guy through customs and in the airport, we see a brief cameo of Richard Branson getting patted down in the airport.
Oh, really?
Very
Fun.
brief, the briefest. He is the
Richard-
CEO of Virgin.
Everyone's favorite CEO.
Yeah.
Is that nothing but him being like, I want to be in
wanna
this movie?
Yeah, exactly.
Maybe.
I didn't notice any strictly like.
It's nothing very. It's very, very, very brief. Like literally a shot, and he's blurred out, kind of like he's blurry,
Okay.
but it's him.
Wow.
But there's no like Virgin marketing. I guess
No.
it's like if you want to be like a stormtrooper in Star Wars, you're like,
Yeah,
you know
exactly.
a guy, and then you're
Yeah.
like wearing a mask, but you know that it's you.
Oh, fun fact:
Yeah,
Daniel
yeah.
Craig was a stormtrooper in
Very
Star Wars.
true.
There we go. Back around,
and the
Okay.
circle is complete.
Fun.
So there's the fucking sprinklers are going off. The bad dude goes into the locker room and grabs one of the dude's guns because I guess they just leave their guns out in their lockers.
Yeah.
But like one of the security officers' guns comes out and he steals. He fucking kills a fuel truck driver.
Snaps his neck.
He literally just
Come
grabs him,
on.
snaps his neck like immediately.
Not
which is kind
necessary.
of stupid.
It's
But
bad. It's bad and it's rude.
and then he's like
okay.
setting up his little bomb, and it's like a keychain bomb.
It's a keychain bomb. It's very cute. It's on a little
it's tiny.
carabiner. You just got to
Yeah.
twist it to turn it on.
Yeah, and it beep 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 beeps.
He puts it on a fuel truck, which is destined for this new airplane.
Yeah.
Because I think if you remember, the main villain made some choices, some stock market purchases against this airline, and they're like, "This is crazy. They're going up," and he's like, "I think they're going to go down." And so, if this plane explodes, he will profit
Immensely.
immensely
Yes.
from this
Yes.
plane exploding.
Yeah.
So
Got
this is the
you.
plot.
Bond
Yes,
chases
yes.
chases
Thank you.
down the gas truck, and he hops on it, and it's a very the action sequences are so long it feels like,
Yeah.
but he's swerving around on this gas truck and like fighting with the guy in the truck. He like jumps through the window and he's fighting and pushing and pushing. They crash through a fucking like passenger bus. They crash through like tons of shit on this fucking
They
fuel
crash
truck.
through everything.
And this is
Literally
one
everything.
of the first times of many that I wrote Daniel Craig is running so much.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot
And
of
he
times
has that specific run where
just
like he's just like
a lot of
he's
pumping.
like
Yeah.
arms pumping.
oh yeah,
The
his
bad
arms
guy's
are
always
very
on a
active.
vehicle and
So
he never has
hard.
a vehicle, so he just
Is
just
running
hits
like
it hard.
crazy.
And there's a specific there's a particularly good shot where there's a plane about to land and they see the cars coming, so they pull up.
And at this point,
And so-
cop cars are also chasing the fuel truck.
because they're like, something's up. And so the plane is like passing, and the truck goes past, and the one cop car, the other two cop cars are like, oh shit, and they stop. The one cop car is like, I got him, and they go, but then the plane, they're like, oh shit, so they pull up instead of land, and their burners go, and they blow the cop car from the jet engines. They like just flip that cop car like
a million
50 yards.
times. Yeah.
Oh my God.
Actually, a million flips does not happen. A significant amount of flips happens later in the movie, but we'll get to that.
We'll get to the flips.
Okay.
So they chase. Basically, the bad guy knocks Bond out of the door, but he's like hanging on the passenger door, and Bond sees the little bomb keychain that's like hung in the bottom of the truck. And he presumably grabs it, and they struggle, and finally the guy like gets Bond out and like ties the seatbelt to the steering wheel to like keep it going towards the plane, and he jumps out of the truck. But just before he jumps out, Bond like grabs him, but then shoves him off, and then jumps out of the truck. Bond gets a hold of the truck. He somehow cut the brakes. I don't know how he did that. I guess he did that immediately. I don't know.
No. It was, he had put the seatbelt into the seat so that it would stay forward. So like, he's like, oh shit.
The brakes weren't working though. So he cut the brake lines too, apparently, on this truck. So then Bond gets control of the steering wheel and then immediately like spins it so that the truck just narrowly like misses hitting the plane. And then the guy, Bond gets out, cops fucking put him on the ground, and he sees the bad guy, like standing by a cop car because he's dressed as like a security officer.
Oh.
And he has his cell phone out, and his cell phone triggers the bomb.
Oh, no.
And then he triggers it, and he hears beeping, beeping, beeping. And then he looks down, and Bond had put the keychain around his belt, the bad guy's belt. And it's fucking cool because then you see this close in zoom of Bond. And then the explosion like flashes on his face, and everyone's like, "Oh my god!" And Bond just smirks, his little Bond smirk, because that dude blew
to the
up.
guy's belt.
Yeah,
That's
it's
pretty
slick.
fucked
He's slick.
up.
There's
slick.
a boom, and you see him smile.
He just sings a little differently. It's his personal brand justice. It's new Bond. It's gritty.
Yeah.
And then we see, I think we see the next scene. We do see Le Chiffre here on the news of the fucking his plan not going to plan
because he had planned to short the airline
We talked
about this. Yeah, talked about this.
And now
I
he's
have
in
a
shit.
tequila old fashioned.
Okay, great.
Oh, no.
He's now in shit because he's basically been betting his clients' money, his dangerous criminal clients' money against the stock market.
Yes.
So now he's in shit.
He's in a lot of shit.
So cut to Oh, but he does say the line, "Someone talked." So we cut back to the Bahamas, and lo and behold, Demetrius's girlfriend is all fucking murdered.
Oh.
Right. And I want to talk about this. She's murdered in a hammock. What better way to be murdered?
Yeah. What a good way to go.
And I assume they interrogated her. So like,
no,
she was also in the hammock. They wouldn't have put her in a hammock. So like they interrogated her in a hammock.
Yes.
What a comfortable way to go.
Yeah, the most relaxing of
So
torture
relaxing.
one could imagine.
I guess, yeah.
In the Bahamas.
This is
in
the
a
woman that
hammock?
was on the horse.
Yeah,
Just
the
Yes.
horsewoman.
And then was on the Craig.
So
Yeah.
So back in the Bahamas, M's there, James Bond is there, like,
Bunch of
MI6
police.
is there. They're all investigating, and M is basically just like, someone lost a bunch of money. Le Chiffre, he's setting up a high stakes poker game. Basically, the whole movie now explained. Like,
We're
what's
gonna
happened
send
to
you
happen.
there, but
just getting started.
they put a tracker in his arm because she's like,
We don't trust you.
like you've been doing all kinds of crazy shit. We can't trust you, so we're gonna put a tracker in your arm so we can know exactly where you are.
Exactly.
Because a woman is dead
In a hammock.
Yeah.
Yes.
and she's like, do you know about this, or like, did you have anything to do with this? And he looks at her and he's like, no, whatever.
And you know what?
Because at this point in the movie,
Whatever.
like this was a thing where just like Bond, like he just used women, and
Sure.
and M says something along the lines of like, you just see women as objects or whatever.
M's a feminist.
Yeah,
Sure.
good for her.
Yeah. And if you're wondering why they send Bond, someone who M notoriously distrusts now, it's because he's apparently the best poker player in all of MI6.
Unfortunately, she says, she's like, well, we checked the records. Unfortunately, you're the best poker player. This guy's doing poker
we have
tournament.
a profile on every agent in MI6.
Part of the training.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Poker training for international espionage.
So we've now kind of set up the rest of the movie. This guy.
This is where the novel begins, where the actual novel
basically.
is.
Interesting.
Because it begins with the
high stakes poker game. James Bond must win so that this super villain banker fellow can't.
They're basically trying to corner him. They're like, Le Chiffre can't win. So, and if he doesn't win, he'll be desperate. So then he will come to us. We will take him in, and he'll provide us his secrets, and we will offer him amnesty or whatever.
Yeah, because the reason he's doing the poker game is because he lost all of this money from.
We know. That's what we just
talked about the airplane thing while you were making a drink. So now it's
he
like,
lost his money from
recap
the Ugandan
everything
freedom
we talked
fighters.
About while you were making a drink.
Him.
Once you came back from making a drink, it's like, how is the format of? It's like, anyway, I have to go to the bathroom quite bad, but I'm not getting up every 20 minutes. You know?
The Ugandan freedom fighters will straight up murder Le Chiffre, so that's why he needs to win at least $15 million.
Yeah.
So he set up this game.
Easy.
Anyway, we're now on a train. We're on a train to Montenegro, which is where the poker game is going to play.
Montenegro.
Yes.
Where
Zach was just like a drunken stare.
And honestly, this is the best scene in the entire movie, in my opinion.
I want to talk about this scene. I actually want to talk about this.
You meet the
scene.
love interest.
Yeah. Vesper.
Interesting.
Okay.
What's the name of the drink?
I think it's called a.
This is a
we don't care about your stupid ass drink.
Okay. Every other drink I've been drinking up to this point has been a Vesper, which Bond names after the character.
Cute.
And then
played
attempt to
by
woo her because she's not a fan of him at first.
The wonderful
fantastic
Eva Green.
performance,
Wonderful
and a really
Green.
great character too.
Yes.
Anyway, we're on the train, and basically we meet Eva Green, who plays Vesper Lind, who is a representative of the British Treasury, because the Treasury has to front the $10 million buy-in for the poker game.
Right.
That Bond is going to be playing.
So she makes a special comment of you realize if you lose this game, then our government will have directly funded terrorism, which seems like a good plan. It seems like a good plan.
We get it.
To do this.
And also you get a quip she sits down and her first line is, "I'm the money." And Bond says, "Every penny of it."
Ooh. Okay. Which is also a reference to Moneypenny.
So you get it. You get it.
Yeah.
The main drive of this scene is something that I want to talk about because it's a really good scene. Often tread trope of movies like this where two intelligent agent type people will look at each other and be like, "From the look of your suit, I'd say that you were born in South Africa and you're an orphan who was born on the 4th of July, who was used to be a towhead, but then you got onto hair dye, and then
from the look of your hair, I would say that you're
short-sighted.
You're 35 years old.
Yeah, I get it, you guys. They fucking
how it's made back in the day.
They size each other up.
I just really wonder if it's if anyone in the real world is capable of doing that thing.
Absolutely.
That cool guys in movies do when they
I forget what they're called, but they can. It's also just
the belief. They have a name?
I'm certain. I forget what this skill is, but I'm certain that people can do that. I know that they can. It's it is basically like a psychic, right? Like those are just people that are extremely observant.
Mm-hmm.
Psychics are?
Yeah.
And
we're meant to believe that MI6 agents are, as well as representatives of the British Treasury are also
Are
that
psychic.
for some
The
reason.
accountants also are very good at it.
Yeah.
But she's not any accountant. She is an attractive accountant who can play Bond's game intellectually and physically all the time. So they make it to Montenegro.
Yeah.
And they check into they get into a car and they get their like fake passports and their stories. And they're supposed to be like a married couple, Mr. Beach. And they're going to be staying in this room. And they enter the hotel and Bond immediately is like, reservation for Bond and maybe under Beach, James Bond. So he gives his whole name and she's all pissed off at him.
Yeah. Do you guys know? I kind of lost track there. Why he gave his actual name?
Because so he comes up and she's like, I can't believe you did that. And he's like, well, if he's so connected, I'm sure he already knows who I am, but he's letting me play anyway, which tells me something about him. He's either arrogant or desperate. And then she goes, well, you just gave him something about yourself. You're reckless. And then she gets on the elevator and she's like, this is just for one. There's no room for your ego. So they get to a great start. Those two. Yeah. But he goes back to the front desk and he's got like, an envelope waiting for him from like the front desk. And he walks out and MI6 has provided him with a very wonderful car full of gadgets.
Oh.
Yeah. And he goes in the glove box. There is like a defibrillator and like syringes and then also a silenced gun. And so he takes that gun, he puts it back in the envelope and he leaves it at the front desk for later use.
I think if Alinka didn't visibly yawn as much as she does.
No, sorry. This is not it's literally because I can't breathe. It's not me actually yawning. It's me trying to catch a breath. Also, Zach's muted or I can't hear him.
I might have accidentally muted him.
I've been muted this whole time? Are you kidding me?
No, not the whole time. Just a little bit.
Recently.
Just a little bit.
When did you mute me?
Sorry.
It was probably within the past like minute.
I've been providing quality color commentary.
You know what?
Sorry.
We definitely got through a scene a lot quicker.
Oh my god!
No,
that whole time.
No,
when you're getting
was it
glasses,
because I was singing?
No, when you were singing. No, not the whole time. We heard you.
What, you heard me?
No. You weren't muted the whole time. You were muted for probably the past like 2 minutes. That's it.
Oh my god!
Yeah,
all right.
maybe.
While I was explaining that whole scene.
Yeah.
I think you were just going, yes, yeah.
What's wrong with that? I'm just agreeing with you.
No, I didn't mean to mute you though. I think my fingers just hovered around the mute button because you keep getting
all right.
Okay,
Great.
And then go to Montenegro and meet Rene Mathis, their contact in the country, who will be helping them throughout this poker tournament. Mathis seems trustworthy at first, but is he?
I don't know.
Let's see.
Sorry, am I making too much noise now?
Jesus.
I will mute you immediately.
This episode concludes in part 2, which is available everywhere right now. What are you waiting for? Find it anywhere you listen to podcasts or on our website, haven'tseenitpodcast.com.